Teamwork.
The final action of this year's TT takes place today, with the 6-lap Milwaukee Senior TT getting underway this lunchtime. The race looks set to be a shootout between lap record holder Peter Hickman and 25-time TT winner Michael Dunlop, who've shared the victories in the 7 solo races held so far.
The year before I came to actually be a newcomer was 2013, and I came to watch for 4 days. I watched the newcomers and Super Twins ride. So I went and watched at Hilbury and could not believe the speed of the Super Twins through Hilbury, and it absolutely blew my mind. The feeling I got watching was a sense of awe, I think, was probably more than anything. You can hear the bikes coming from so far away for a start. You can just hear that little twin was flat out for what seemed forever before it even got to us, and I was kind of head over the wall watching, and then all of a sudden it didn't shut off. I think it was Gary Johnson even, and I was just waiting for him to shut off, and he didn't. It was flat out all the way through it, and I literally was like, I remember kind of sitting back and just going, what? Thinking, that's the Super Twin, they're the slow bikes. How does the slow bike look like that? And then I was like, wow, I could not get my head around how it looked.
Well, I know that's what draws the riders here, is we've got the complete freedom to make our choices that we want. You know, no one's telling us when to brake and when to throttle on, you know, it's completely up to us. So I can understand perfectly every rider's want to be here. And I think that extends to the crowds and the sponsors and the teams and the fans, you know, all people alike. I think the energy that the event carries is on the back of the danger of what we're doing. There's definitely atmosphere here that's like no other, and I think it's the purity of the event and the history of how long it's run for and how it's been unchanged. You know, the course hasn't gotten safer. In fact, you know, with the speeds the bikes are going, if anything, it's gotten more dangerous, but it's still going, you know, it hasn't been interrupted, and it's still the pure form that it always was. And I think that creates a draw for people to come and witness it and see it and feel it for themselves. And I don't feel like anyone's ever said words or described it in a way that is accurate to what it feels like when you're here. I think until you've come and experienced it for yourself and stood in a hedge and felt the bikes come past, like the wind that comes past as each bike passes, and the noise that you feel and the sensation you feel, unless you've felt that yourself, I don't think anyone will really understand what's happening here.
Words can't describe exactly what this place is and what we are doing here. Unbelievable is about as close as you'll get, and that's nowhere near.
Free practice anyway,
No.
I forgot it was free practice. I just said, did anyone time so I would know what the time was?
Yeah.
I thought they'd still publish the time.
I did.
That's even worse, isn't it, for you?
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Well, it is, apart from the fact that I brought 2 new air tags and she went, no, put mine in, then she disappeared, and I'm like... I just love it. I love everything about it, to be honest. I like how relaxed it is, although these past 2 weeks maybe haven't been quite so relaxed with the weather and stuff. But yeah, I just love everything about it. Sense of achievement. It's a real team event. I believe we've got the best team, which I always say to everybody.
So do I fly through or come in?
Fly through. If it feels all right, obviously. Fucking idiot.
Nothing can prepare you for the first lap of practice. It's something that you'll never ever get used to, I don't think. This year was a little bit different, I suppose. They made us go out on the smaller bikes to start with. It's in the interest of safety, but actually I think it was worse because I got used to the little bike and then jumped on the big bike and went, holy shit, Whereas normally you jump on the big bike straight away, you get the holy shit out of the way by the time you get down Bray Hill, and then it's kind of done.
Well done, man. Fair play.
First night was actually really, really good. I had preconceived ideas of what it would be like because I've already done this process before. I rode 13 and 14 and then I had a gap for 15 and 16 and then I come back in 17. And when I first come back in 17, I was a little bit complacent, I think, because I thought, oh, I know what I'm doing. I've been there before. I've done all the newcomer stuff. I'll come back and just adapt. And it really didn't happen like that. It was such a shock. So to come back after 5 years, I was anticipating exactly that same feeling to happen again, but fortunately it didn't come.
That's good. Happy with day one.
Yeah, no, good day one.
You do 26, didn't you? I mean, that's fine, isn't it? All 5
years off, yeah.
Ideal.
Yeah. But now you're just like left thinking, where am I going to find?
Yeah, where's the rest?
Where's it all going to come from? Because like it feels really fast.
Yeah, right. It wasn't really until kind of Wednesday, got the stocker well and truly sorted, felt really happy with it and just parked it. I think I'd done 133. Got that kind of nailed and went, right, the Superbike's not doing what I want it to do, so let's park the stocker and let's crack on with the Superbike. And Superbike's been hard work.
To be honest with you, normally coming here, because we've been coming for a few years, especially with the BMW, we kind of come with a setup that we know is going to not necessarily work, but be pretty damn close. I've been here before with Pete, with a Superbike, rocked up to first practice and not even touched a click on the bike for 2 weeks and been and won. So that was kind of as it was on the Superstock bike. We made a few small tweaks, but nothing really. Yet the Superbike, it didn't matter what we did, she just did not want to behave.
If I can stop it from just head shaking, so I've always got brakes, I'll just deal with the rest. I just need brakes.
Yeah, no.
Like if I have to just beast the bike around and force it, I'll do it. But I can't brake where I want to brake because I'm 100 metres before I'm going nothing. Now I've got brake.
Sorry?
It turns better, but it's still shaking its head.
Okay.
The brakes are there a bit more often.
Say what?
They're there a bit more often. No, I would say if anything, I felt like it head shook more.
But your brakes were better?
Yeah.
Not
massive, like over Ren Cullen, the first bit.
Yeah, you had a big slide.
You know,
no, I got a text.
The whole thing just locked a lot.
The bike was just moving too much. Like I was constantly rolling in the bars, which is just hard work. I mean, the bikes do a lot of that anyway, and it was worse than what it should be. So we were trying to figure out why we'd changed all sorts of really quite big dramatic things on the bike and it wasn't making any difference, which was unusual and very frustrating. And even on the Friday before the first race day, Saturday, it still wasn't right. And we were running out of time by that point. And we were all scratching our heads, to be quite honest. The whole team was a bit like, we're not sure why. We know what the problem is, we don't know how to fix it.
Coming into this year, obviously there will be pressure with the team and obviously pressure with the riders and pressure with myself. But I always see it as whatever happens, it happens. So we just have to come here and have a good time and the riders do their best. I never actually give them pressure. And obviously when the Superbike wasn't working, I did speak to Pete and say, right, just go out there and do your best. There's no pressure. If we didn't win it, we can come back again next year. That's how I like to do things.
Just have one in the back. Yeah, so from yesterday, MS1, normal front. Spring's the same, it's only the link. Lowered the rear a little bit. Might feel a bit softer, not necessarily a bad thing, and might feel softer in the front, from compression side.
In the race, we tried something else and it was as bad as it was in the warm-up, and on top of that the shifter was intermittent. Sometimes it would shift, sometimes it wouldn't shift, so I'd have to manually shift, and also the blipper never worked.
Don't shift the no.
I know, I've heard.
Sometimes I get a shift, most of the time.
Just not always.
Definitely not worse than rev it.
Sorry?
It's worse the more that I rev it.
You're right with tear off? All right with tear off?
Just take the top one off.
Which side is it?
That one. Just put another one there, yeah.
Yeah. 18 seconds.
To who?
To Dunloping first.
Yeah.
And about 7 to Dean. You got a gap behind you. You ready, Brownie? Okay, go.
You know, Pete was going into a corner with pumping his brakes, which is ridiculous. And to be honest, I don't know any other rider that would have continued. But he kind of figured out how it would work and did a 35.5 on the last lap, which is phenomenal, really, even with no quick shifter. So.
Actually put in a fairly decent lap time at the end, over 135 miles an hour, which, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting. And when I saw it come up on the dash as I crossed the line, I saw the 16:42. I was a bit surprised myself, to be honest, because I was managing all these other problems and yet managed to still go pretty fast on the last lap. And we still managed to finish second in that first Sunday race, and that is still unreal. You know, to finish second in a Superbike race is mega. You know, people dream of not only being able to finish here at the Isle of Man TT in a big race, but not to finish top 20 or even top 10, but to finish on the podium is a massive deal. And we've managed to do it with a load of problems and still finish second. So for us, it was actually a bit of a victory over the problems that we were facing.
The eagle come swooping in and missed, didn't he? Go! Over here, we have bird. Shit.
It's good looking, isn't it? Got dive bombed by a seagull.
We are seeing something special this year, Mark. Yeah, it's going to be a whole different kettle of fish with the Superstocks. You know, they're going to be flat out. There'll be very little attrition. There's only a very short splash for fuel, and whoever can get out of the gates fast is probably going to have a little advantage.
I'm riding the Superstock bike in both categories, so when I get into the Superstock race, I think I'm going to be more competitive when everyone's on the same machine. So that was my sort of mindset going in. I think this is my better chance to sort of shine, not win, but, you know, go better.
You know, everybody's kind of got the cobwebs shaken out now. They've got their day of rest, so they're kind of come out swinging.
And yeah, set off from the line and got first gear, second gear. I was probably just at the time to go to third gear. So you're really, you know, ready for the race to start sort of thing. You've only just sort of got going, and then the bike just cut out.
I think it looks like Josh Brookes is a retirement. Oh no! Yeah, because
ECU, I think.
He's
in the gallery.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can find out exactly what's happened to Josh Brookes.